feel good everywhere you look tonight for the Knicks against the Hawks. Season high 41 points in the first quarter. Kevin Knox tonight a season high 17. Knicks a season high 77 points and a half. They did that in the first half. Mitchell Robinson a season high 22. Knicks with 143 points to beat Atlanta 143-120. The Knicks home crowd filing out. They saw the Knicks score their most points in regulation since 1980. They beat the Hawks 143-120. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pidto and Alan Hahn, along with John Wallace on the postgame ball club, bringing us luck. Got to sign you for the rest of the year. And Alan did your tie knot. You're looking good.
You don't need to put that out there.
I look really good.
Don't tell the people about that.
My tie actually looks good. It matches my whole the rest of my look now.
What do you think of the game tonight?
Game was awesome. Knicks came out right from the start firing, playing really strong, playing with a sense of urgency, coming out, getting in the passing lanes, but more importantly, being really efficient on offense, making the game easy, passing, cutting, getting easy baskets, making the game easy for each other.
And, when you come back from a road trip, and they had a fairly successful 2-2, a good road trip, some positive things to build off of, but usually you see this, and they talk about it all the time. You come back from a road trip, and that first home game, there tends to be that bit of a, I don't know if you want to call it a hangover or whatever it is, and you don't normally play well. But you see the Hawks, they're struggling as well. And that was an opportunity game. And, to score 41 points in the first quarter kind of sends that message that the Knicks knew that this was a game they had to get, they wanted to get, and they got it right from the start.
Plus, it seems the Knicks are playing with a newfound vigor. And they won 3 of their last 4 games, and hopefully they're able to continue that.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the start. I mentioned 41 points. Hey. And, Alan, you talked about best quarter they've had all year.
Absolutely. And Dennis Smith came in once Elfrid Payton got into some foul trouble, and, boy, he needed to have some good minutes, and he did. And Marcus Morris got, he sets the tone, 13 points that he had there in that first quarter. His matchup, which I believe, John, that was your matchup to watch, was it not?
Did you call this, John?
He called it. He absolutely called. The Knicks hit 5 of 8 from three-point range, shot 58% from the field. They were feeling it, as you can just tell in this game. And the dominance in the paint was absolutely insane in this game, John. As by the end of the game, right from this stat I told you.
72 points in the paint.
72 points in the paint.
Season high, obviously. Yeah, Knicks had a lot of season highs tonight, and it feels really good. After the start of the season, the way they were playing, now the way they're playing now, turn around and just got good vibes going. Everyone's feeling good. The morale is good. The Knicks are back. The buzz is back in the arena. People are outside smiling, waving. We're back, baby. It feels really good. It feels really good. And I can't wait for a game Friday.
And what have you seen differently? You seen anything differently here over this run? You mentioned the 3 wins in the last 4 games.
Well, like I was saying, it just seems like the Knicks are playing like just with more spirited and just more passion on the court, playing harder. It's all about competing. It's not about winning and losing sometimes. It's about like how you compete and how you carry yourself on the court. And I think that's creating that culture. New coach now, they're trying to show that they belong, and I think they're doing that just thus far for Coach Mike Miller.
There was a moment in that first half where the game was you saw the Knicks were really trying to push the pace and ride the wave of the crowd. And there was one time the ball was loose, and Mitchell Robinson did a swan dive into the baseline, just trying to save the ball. You just see he ran as hard as he could, just dove for it. And when he got up, it was quiet in the building for a minute, and he got up and he got a standing ovation. Like little things like that, just to make that kind of an effort where you just dive for the loose ball. You're basically playing all out, right? You're selling out on every single play.
And that's all the fans want to see.
Pretty much, right? You've experienced it. You know exactly how that feels. And the standing ovation, that said a lot. More than making shots and the alley-oops and the numerous dunks in this game, a play like that, to see a team play that hard, is what I think the fan base tends to appreciate the most, the audience here.
Absolutely, and that's going to continue. Mitchell Robinson brings it every night.
Yep.
His PER is great. His plus-minus is great. And all he's got to do is stay out of foul trouble. As long as he stays out of foul trouble, he's good.
And, we've had a run here, John, with Robinson not getting into foul trouble at all. And his numbers, Alan talks about it consistently. Yeah. The last 6-7 games, they've been incredible.
And that's what he's got to continue to do. It's all about him staying on the court, being able to help his team. Sometimes you got to remember, sometimes you got to give up a layup or a dunk or something, not to give up a foul. So he's got to remember he's worth more than 2 points. and know that his team needs him out there on the court more than on the bench.
And the points in the paint that they've been scoring, we said it in the pregame. Remember, Bill, as they were scoring over 50 points in the paint going into this game, And that's a big difference after the first 22. And Mitchell's been a big part of that. They're using him more in screen roll. They're getting a lot of lobs to him, and this is what we're showing, just lob after lob. And I'll tell you what, the other stat that jumped out at me is, when you talk about his importance, his value on the floor. So he played 13 and a half minutes in the first half. And in that 13 and a half minutes, the Knicks were plus 29. I mean, just think about that. Like, that kind of an impact that he would have on the floor to be almost 30 points better than the other team when you're out there. That alone just shows you how valuable you can be as a player. But his impact, because now the guards who are getting into the paint, you can't just play off them. You have to worry about the lob, so the bigs are going to help, and you throw the lob. If the bigs don't help, then the guards can go. Elfrid Payton did that in the first half, kept going right to the basket.
Now, it's worth noting that Elfrid Payton had a little bit of foul trouble in the first half, and Dennis Smith Jr., who hadn't played in the last 3 games, came in, John. How difficult for someone who hadn't played in the last 3 games. 8 points, key there in the first half from Dennis Smith Jr.
It's not difficult. You're a pro. That's what you're supposed to do. You stay ready. No, I'm serious. You stay ready.
Right.
We've all been in that position. When you don't play, sometimes you got to stay ready. He stayed ready. He came in. Now he's going to earn more minutes, hopefully, for the rest of the season. But if you don't play, you can't pout. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to go and work on your game and keep playing and keep staying ready, staying positive, staying in the moment, staying mentally engaged in the game.
He also had 5 assists,
which is key. He was really starting to kind of feel like his old self. You saw he had some bounce going. And you know what? We saw the first highlight we showed was him hitting a 3-pointer, which was his first shot attempt. John, how important is that? When you're struggling, when you feel like you're in a slump, to come in a game and you hit that first shot.
When that first shot goes in, it's nothing better. It's like Christmas morning, baby. Everything is good. And that's how you start feeling. And then you start playing better. Everything just starts slowing down for you. And it just makes you play with much more confidence when that first shot goes in.